Hey, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, Kahalaim La Yahweh, Bashim Yashai, Bashim Rakakwadashi. Good mornings to our teachers, apostles, great millstone, peace, salutations to the election. All right, it's the book of Second Timothy chapter 4 and verse 18. And it says, the Lord shall deliver me from every evil work and will preserve me unto his heavenly kingdom, to whom be glory forever and ever. All right. Now, the Lord said, in an acceptable time I have heard thee, and in the day of salvation I have helped thee, and I will preserve thee. All right, so the word for preserve means to keep safe from harm or free from harm. Also, as to ensure that something does not occur or happen. It says to preserve, to keep, to guard beforehand, before, to keep safe, maintain, to keep in a certain quality, state, or condition. To prevent from spoiling by use of a preservative substance, to keep in existence or keep alive, right? So when it comes to life and all this, you know what I'm saying, we have to understand that the Most High is in control of everything. So the scriptures say all things obey his will, Isaiah Sirach 18:3. You know, so at the end of the day, man, you know, we have to, that's why scripture say you must fear the Lord, you know, because everything that happens is according to his will, man. So, you know, the Lord said, in acceptable time I have heard thee, in the day of salvation I will preserve thee, man. That's in real quick. Where's that? Yeah, Isaiah 49th chapter. Yep. Which I go there later, but it's Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 20. It says, and when thy son asketh thee in the time to come, saying, what mean these testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which the Lord thy power hath commanded you? Then thou shalt say unto thy son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt. We were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt, right? Which we're in the house of bondage again, New Egypt, right? To the new Pharaoh, which will be a so-called white man. All right, it says, and the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yashai brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. And the Lord showed signs and wonders great and sore upon Egypt and upon Pharaoh and upon all his household before our eyes. All right, it was a wondrous thing the Lord did, delivering his children out of the devil's hands. All right. It said he sent plagues, you know, all these different things. And the Lord said he's gonna send plagues on Egypt again, you know, such as he has never seen before. All right, so it says 22, 23, my bad. It says, and he brought us out from thence that he might bring us in to give us a land which he swore unto our fathers. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Most High, our power, for good, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is this day, that he might preserve us alive. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our power, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our power, as he hath commanded us. So the reason why, you know, you're in captivity, you're in slavery, you know, and all this different shit, you know, you catching all kind of hell, you know, is because of your disobedience, man. All right, the Lord commands you to do all these statutes, they might preserve you alive, you know. So the Lord is a power that's not mocked. Scripture say Galatians 6 and 7. The Most High Yahweh Bashim Ashai is not mocked, therefore ye sons of Jacob. That's Malachi 3 and 6, but He said the Most High is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. All right. Galatians 6 and 7. So he's a power to hide himself, and he's a power that's not played with to be played with. Just like that woman that got shot in her face, Sonya Massey, she was playing with the Lord. She took the name of the Lord in vain. And that show you that there's no power in that Jesus name character. So the Lord's not to be played with, man. All right, your people, you're gonna understand that. In the coming days and years, Scripture said, "Many days and years shall be trouble, man. You careless daughters." All right, and Sonya Massey was one of them careless daughters. All right. Okay, so it says, preserve to have life, to remain alive, to sustain life, to live prosperously, to be quick and be alive, to be restored to life or health. All right. To preserve in a good state. Lord's gonna preserve us in a good state, gonna hide us in his pavilion, man. All right, that's what King David said. So it's all about the faith, man. Now it says 2 Corinthians 8 and verse 1, and he answered me saying, "Yeah, because you, like, for instance, you as a man, if you're gonna deal with a woman, you're gonna deal with a faithful woman. That's who you're gonna preserve in your life. That's who you're gonna hold in your life. That's who you're gonna deal with, man. That's who you're gonna want to spend your time with a faithful woman. And we're the Lord's woman, so the Lord's gonna preserve the faithful. Scripture say all the unfaithful shall die. 2 Corinthians 15, gonna die in their unfaithfulness, man. You know. So 2 Corinthians 8 and 1, and he answered me saying, "The Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for a few. And I will tell thee a similar to Esdras, as when I asked the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it may give much mold, whereof earthen vessels are made. But a little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world. For there be many created, but few shall be saved." And so I answered and said, "Swallow them down, O soul, O my soul, and understanding, and devour wisdom. For thou hast agreed to give ear, and art willing to prophesy. For thou hast no longer space than only to live. O Lord, if thou suffer not thy servant, that we may pray before thee, and thou give us seed unto our heart, and culture to our understanding, that there may come fruit out of it, how shall each man live that is corrupt, who beareth the place of a man? For thou art alone, and we are one workmanship of thy hand, like as thou hast said. For when the body is fashioned now in the mother's womb, thou givest it members, thy creature is preserved in fire and water. And 9 months do that workmanship and do that creature which is created in her. Right. So every step of the way, the Lord is preserving you. Right. So you owe the Lord, as Scripture say, Romans 10th chapter, your reasonable service. So you being a grateful son, you will do the Lord's will. Scripture says, no, Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. By the 10th verse, 12th verse says that the whole duty man keep the Lord's commandments. So you owe the Lord. You owe the Lord, because He been preserving you every step of the way. He been with you. Every step of the way. He has secured thee, man. He's helped thee. Whether or not you understand it. Because even the fact that you're alive to this very day is all the Lord's doing. That's the Lord's doing. You know what I'm saying? So 7 verse says, "For thou art alone, we are the workmanship of thy hands, like as thou hast said. For when the body is fashioned in the mother's womb, and thou givest it members, thy creature is preserved in fire and water, and through 9 months do thy workmanship endure thy creature which is created in her. But that which keepeth and is kept shall both be preserved. And when the time come, the womb preserved delivereth up the things that grew in it. For thou hast commanded out of the parts of the body, that is to say, out of the breasts, milk to be given, which is the fruit of the breast, that the thing which is fashioned may be nourished for a time till thou disposest it to thy mercy." That's right. All right. The scripture says, "Desire the sincere milk that you may grow thereby." like newborn babes. Okay, so that's according to the Lord. 13 verse, thou shalt mortify it as thy creature and quicken it as thy work. If therefore thou shalt destroy him which with so great labor was fashioned, it is an easy thing to be ordained by thy commandment that the thing which was made might be preserved. Now therefore, Lord, I will speak touching man in general, thou knowest best, but touching thy people for whose sake I am sorry. See, see, this is one thing that the prophets did. The prophets, they spoke on behalf of the people to the Lord as the intercession between the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, really, because the prophets were lawyers, so they were the ones dictating things in court. Like today, right? You have lawyers, and what would the lawyers do? They got to pass the bar exam and all those different things. You got paralegals, and but they work on behalf of the clients in the court to understand the laws. You know what I'm saying? To dictate. They go before the judge, Your Honor, this, and that. They plead the cause of their clients. So in a manner of speaking, we do the same things, but in the spiritual realm, on a spiritual level, which is much higher than the physical, because the physical is corrupt, the flesh is corrupt. So that's what the laws of the white man do. You got to go to school to learn these damn corrupt ways in order to defend these people out there. Lie, cheat, and steal on their behalf. Whatever the case may be. But see, the prophets of the Lord or the men of the Lord have been commissioned to do a job on behalf of the people. So right here it says, 2 Esdras 18:5, 8 and 15, my bad. It says, now therefore, Lord, I will speak, touching man in general, thou knowest best, but touching thy people for whose sake I am sorry, and for thy inheritance for whose cause I mourn, and for Israel for whom I am heavy, and for Jacob for whose sake I am troubled. Therefore will I begin to pray before thee for myself and for them, for I see the falls of us that dwell in the land. But I have heard the swiftness of the judge which is to come. I have heard the swiftness of the judge which is to come. Therefore hear my voice and understand my words, and I shall speak before thee. For this is the beginning of the words of Esdras before he was taken up. And I said, before he was beamed up, O Lord, thou that dwellest in everlastings, which beholdest from above things which are in the heaven and in the air, whose throne is inestimable, whose glory may not be comprehended, before whom the hosts of the angels stand with trembling, whose service is conversant and wind and fire, whose word is true and sayings constant, whose commandment is strong and ordinance is fearful, whose look drieth up the depths, and indignation maketh the mountains to melt away, which the truth witnesseth. O hear the prayer of thy servant, and give ear to the petition of that creature. That's what the prophets was doing. They was making intercession so that the Lord will preserve his people. Lord said, I'll make intercession for thee. Right. But that's a mercy. He was sending his servants, the prophets, out there to warn the people, to plead the cause of the afflicted, which at the end of the day, that's what the Lord commanded you to do. He said, take oversight of the flock, be a father um, of the fatherless. He said, be a father of the fatherless, Sirach 4. Okay, it says, be as a father to the fatherless instead of a husband unto their mother, so shall thou be as the son of the Most High. God, what the sons of the Most High would do, they'll praise the Most High, but they will also make intercession for his saints. Because that's what the Lord did, right? His son. That's what the son did. He made intercession for us. So likewise, he said, Obadiah 1 and 21, says, Savior shall mount upon the Mount Zion to judge the Mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. So these same joint heirs are the ones making intercession between the Lord and the people. That's why I said I'll multiply similitudes, Hosea 12 and 10, and by the mouth of my servants, the prophets, by the ministry of the prophets. So shalt thou be as a son of the Most High, and he shall love thee more than thy mother doeth, right? Because you're taking oversight over his flock, and you help preserve his inheritance, through teaching his word, which is charity, through feeding his flock day in and day out, in season, out of season, you know. because the world don't understand this, but you're not of the world, as it says John 17, you know. So the world might not understand this, might hate this, they may look at it with disdain, look at you with disdain, but the Lord said if they have hated you, know that they have hated me before they hated you, you know. So it says 2 Esdras 8 and verse 24. Hear the prayer of thy servant and give ear to the petition of thy creature. For while I live, I will speak. So long as I have understanding, I will answer. And look not upon the sins of thy people, but on them which serve thee in truth. Yeah, look not upon the sins of thy people. That's what David told. That's what Moses said, right? Same people, but that's what Moses had said. He made intercession for Israel because Lord about to destroy Jake, man, and Moses stepped in a few times actually. He said, don't do it, Lord, don't do it. You know that what he because Lord, his anger was kindled against his people. A few times. A lot of times I should say. So the prophets will plead the cause of his people, man. You know that's why the Lord raised up the prophets, man, because here it is, the world, Esau and these other niggas, the false shepherds, they don't care about they don't care about you like that, you know. So the Lord said, I give you past according to my heart, it shall feed you with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It says, regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen, but the desire of those that keep thy testimonies in affliction. 2 8 and 27. Think not upon those that have walked vainly before thee, but remember them which according to thy will have known thy fear. That's who the Lord's going to remember. In order to preserve someone, you got to remember someone. You know, He's going to remember his saints. He's not going to forget you. It says, but remember them which according to thy will have known thy fear. But let it not be thy will to destroy them which have lived like beasts, but to look upon them which have clearly taught thy law. Clearly taught thy law. That's what the Lord is going to look at and preserve. Those that clearly teaching the law, those who clearly teaching the word, those who receiving that word with meekness. Scripture say to receive with meekness the engrafted word, which are able to save your souls. All right. It says 30th verse, take no thought at the indignation at them, which are deemed worse than beasts, but love them that always put their trust in thy righteousness and glory. All right. Love them that always put their trust in that righteousness and glory, man. That's who the Lord loves, man. Because he said he loved none but them that dwell with wisdom. And that's who he's going to preserve. That's who he's going to keep under the shadow of his wing. That's who he's going to guard. All right. That's who he's going to keep safe. 2 Esdras 12 and verse 42. For all the prophets, thou only are left us as a cluster of the vintage, as a candle in a dark place, as a haven or ship preserved from the tempest. Are not the evil which are come to us sufficient? If thou shalt forsake us, how much better had it been for us if we also had been burned in the midst of Zion? For we are not better than they that died there. And they wept with a loud voice and answered I them and said, be of good comfort, O Israel, and be not heavy, thou house of Jacob, for the highest hath you in remembrance, and the mighty have not forgotten you in temptation. As for me, I have not forsaken you, neither have I departed from you, but am come into this place to pray for the desolation of Zion, and that I might seek mercy for the lower estate of your sanctuary. And now go your way home, every man after these days will I come unto you. So the people went their way into the city as I commanded them, and I remained still in the field 7 days, and the angel commanded me, and did only eat in those days the fowls of the field, and had my meat on the herbs. Yeah, so the highest have remembered you in remembrance, and the mighty have not forgotten you in temptation. Because he said you will be delivered 10 days. You'll be cast in prison 10 days, but you got to keep the faith, you know. At the end of the day, because we come in trying times, man, you know. So, but as for me, I have not forsaken you, neither am I departed from you. But I am come into this place to pray for the desolation of Zion, that I might seek mercy for the lower state of your sanctuary. Yeah. That's right. But the 46th verse said, "Be of good comfort, O Israel, and be not heavy, thy house of Jacob, because the Lord say, preserve you, the worm." Wisdom of Solomon 10 and verse 1, it says, "She preserved the first form father of the world that was created alone and brought him out of his fall." Adam. Adam fell. See, the first form father of the world. All right. And gave him power to rule all things. That's how you know that's the first. The Lord said, "I'm the first and the last, the Alpha and the Omega." Right. Third verse. "But when the righteous went away from her in his anger, he perished also in the fury wherewith he murdered his brother. For whose cause the earth being drowned with the flood, wisdom again preserved it and directed the course of the righteous." See, wisdom preserved the righteous. Wisdom preserved the course of the righteous. Only the righteous have wisdom, not the wisdom of man, which the wisdom of man is a fleeting thing. That's a wicked thing, the wisdom of man, because that's a carnal thing. Scripture said, "Carnal mind enmity with the Most High." Romans 8:6. All right, directed the course of the righteous, and a piece of wood, a small vessel. Moreover, the nations in their wicked conspiracy being confounded, she found out the righteous. See, the nations are in a wicked conspiracy against us, man. Pursuing the Psalms 82. The nations are in a wicked conspiracy against the true Lord's people and the true men of the Lord. Because they want to keep you down because they know the power that you have within you. That's why the Lord said that the kingdom of heaven within you. And he also said that, "Come, ye blessed of my Father, ye that's on the right hand, blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom, which is preserved unto you from the beginning, or created for you unto the beginning, from the beginning." You know, so that's who the Lord's calling. He's calling his election. That's why he's crying out day and night, and his hand stretched out still. The Lord hasn't destroyed the play because of his election. That's it. Because the angels, Lord said, the four winds, they're holding back the four winds of destruction until the servants of my power be sealed in their foreheads. You see, so it says, Wisdom of Solomon 10 and 5, "Moreover, the nations and their wicked conspiracy being confounded, she found out the righteous and preserved him blameless unto the Most High and kept him strong against his tender compassion towards his son. When the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man. When the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man who fled from the fire which fell down upon the five cities." Who that talking about? That's talking about Lot. See, that's talking about Lot, because Lot was dwelling in the five cities, Sodom and Gomorrah. You had Sodom and Gomorrah with two cities, and then you had Lot. You had Lot living in Sodom, but then you had four other cities, Sodom, Gomorrah, and then three other cities. The five cities, which were in the land of Canaan, because when we read the prophecy, the scripture say that the five cities in the land of Canaan will speak the language, right? The language of the Lord, the words of the Lord. The Okay, because that was a reference back in the day. All right, but anyways, because that's in that region. That's where the Paleo Hebrew was being spoken. But anyways, it says 7 verse, "Of whose wickedness even to this day the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony, and plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness. And a standing pillar of salt is a monument of an unbelieving soul." Yeah, to this day you could go over there and you'll see a pillar of salt. That's Lot's wife. Um, and you'll see a lack of growth over there. Where Sodom and Gomorrah used to be, because the Lord said nothing would ever grow there again. And that's what He said about America too. That's what He said about America. That's what He said about America. That it would be just like the ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, where nothing would dwell there. Nothing would be preserved there. You know, but the Lord's gonna preserve us, man. Oh, and when you look up Lot, the pillar of salt, when you look that up, you'll find the pictures, actual pictures of the pillar of salt that it was written of in Genesis 19 and 26. You actually find those depictions, man. You actually, if you look at it, you'll actually find it. So that's what it said in Wisdom of Solomon 10th chapter. You know, Wisdom of Solomon 10 and 7. "For a standing pillar of salt is a monument of an unbelieving soul." That's talking about Lot's wife. For regarding not wisdom, they get not only this hurt, that they knew not the things which were good, but also left behind them the memorial, the work left behind them to the world a memorial of their foolishness, so that in the things wherein they offended, they could not so much as be hid. But wisdom delivered from pain those that attended unto her. See, wisdom delivered from pain those that attended upon her. We're going to be delivered from pain because the Lord has given us the wisdom that's going to deliver us from that pain, because we've been attending upon her, we've been presented, we've been given attention, like in class, right? Like when you in school and shit like that, you got to pay attention, man. That's why I have attendance. We've been present, man, you know. So we've been present, so the Lord's going to preserve us, you know. 10 verse. And when the righteous fled from his brother wrath, she guided him in right paths and showed him the kingdom of the Most High, and gave him knowledge of holy things, and made him rich in his travails, and multiplied the fruit of his labors. The Lord's about to multiply the fruit of our labors, man. All right. So when the righteous fled from his brother's wrath, the Lord guided him in right paths, man. All right. For instance, Jacob and Esau, even in captivity, the Lord guided us, you know, in right paths and showed us the kingdom. All right, which is within us, but the word, is the way that showed us, right? 11 verse. And the covetousness of such as oppressed him, she stood by him and made him rich. She defended him from his enemies and kept him safe from those that lie in wait. And in a sore conflict, she gave him the victory, that he might know that godliness is stronger than all. And when the righteous was sold, she forsook him not, but delivered him from sin. And she went down with him into the pit. The spirit of wisdom has been with us in America, man, in the pit, which is it says in Psalms, the 7th chapter, that in the pit which he have digged, he gonna fall into that pit. Okay, so we ain't really got nothing to worry about, man. You know, even though the flesh worries and all this different shit, but we gonna be good, man. Okay. It says 14 verse, and it left him not in bonds till she brought him the scepter of the kingdom and power against those that oppressed him. As for them that had accused him, she showed them to be liars and gave him perpetual glory. She delivered the righteous people and blameless seed from the nation that oppressed them. She entered into the soul of the servant of the Lord, wisdom, and withstood dreadful kings and wonders and signs. Yep. Through the spirit of the Lord, we're gonna withstand with dreadful kings, man. We're gonna withstand the white man. We're gonna withstand the other nations. We've withstood Alexander the Greek. We withstood Daniel and them. Withstood the Persians and the Medes. You know what I'm saying? We withstood the Roman Empire. We withstood Pharaoh and and his uh, uh his nonsense, his lack of letting us go. The Lord said, Pharaoh, let my people go. But we still withstood him through the spirit of wisdom, Aaron and Moses, Okay. So it says she entered into the soul of the servant Lord and withstood dreadful kings and wonders and signs. Rendered to the righteous a reward of their labors and guided them in a marvelous way and was unto them for a cover by day and a light of stars in the night season. And brought them through the Red Sea and led them through much water. But she drowned their enemies and cast them up out the bottom of the deep. Therefore, the righteous spoil the ungodly and praise thy holy name, O Lord, and magnify one accord thy hand that fought for them. Yep. For wisdom opened the mouth of the dumb and made the tongues of them that cannot speak eloquent. Yeah, the Lord is gonna make the mouth of the dumb eloquent, man. That's as he did with Moses again. All right. And that's what he done with us, the house of David. Lord willing, you be at that number. You was not eloquent coming into this thing. You wasn't sharp, but the Lord said he made your tongue sharp, beyond belief. Now you a new sharp instrument having teeth, pursuing Isaiah 51, So I will make you a new sharp instrument having teeth, you know. A powerful entity on earth, man. You know. All right. Because the word is power, man. Now we have this word back, So that's power, bro. You know, that's very much power. Okay, so Wisdom of Solomon 16, verse 22. But now sun and ice endured the fire, and melted not, that they might know the fire and the burning and the hail. And sparkling in the rain did destroy the fruit of the enemies. But this again did even forget his own strength, that the righteous might be nourished. It says, for the creature that serveth thee, who art the maker, increaseth his strength against the unrighteous for their punishment, and abated his strength for the benefit of such as put their trust in thee. The creature that serveth thee, who art the maker, increaseth his strength against the unrighteous for their punishment, and abated his strength for the benefit of such as put their trust in thee. See, for the benefit of such as put their trust in thee. Therefore, even then was it altered into all fashions, and was obedient to thy grace. All right. Obedient unto that grace, man. All right. Therefore, even then was it altered in all fashion, was an obedient to that grace that nourisheth all things. All right. Which us, starting with us. You know what I'm saying? We're being nourished. All right, we're being fed by this word. Every day we're being fed. Scripture say every day the Lord's judgment go forth. That's why Scripture say you got seek the Lord every day. Put not off the Lord day to day, because every day the Lord's judgment go forth, man. Okay. Every day the Lord's judgment go forth, man. You know. So it say, so it say, 26. It says that thy children, O Lord, whom thou lovest, might know that it is not the growing of fruits that nourisheth man, but that it is thy word which nourish. See, it is thy word which nourisheth man. Oh, that thy children, O Most High, whom thou lovest, might know that it is not the growing of fruits which nourisheth man, but that it is thy word which preserveth them that put their trust in thee. For that which was not destroyed of the fire, being warmed with a little sunbeam, soon melted away. That it might be known that we must prevent the sun to give thee thanks at the day spring, and the day spring pray unto thee. So like it. For the hope of the unthankful shall melt away as the winter's hoar frost, and shall run away as unprofitable water. Yeah, because look at our people, they're unthankful, man. You know, they're a bunch of unthankful individuals, man. You know, bunch of unthankful nigglets, man. Sirach 34 and verse 14 says, for whoso feareth the Lord shall not be afraid, shall not fear nor be afraid, for he is his hope. Blessed is the soul of him that feareth the Most High, to whom doth he look, and who is his strength. But eyes of the Lord upon them that love him. He is their mighty protection, and a strong stay, and a defense from heat, and a cover from the sun at noon, and a preservation from stumbling, and a help from falling. See, the Lord is a preservation from stumbling and a help from falling, because there's a lot of stumbling blocks out there. The white man can be saved. Um, you know what I'm saying? The woman could teach. You could burn in hell. You know what I'm saying? These different camps, a lot of them are stumbling blocks, pride, ego, the world, money, women. All these shits are stumbling blocks, man. That could destroy you, man. But the Lord said he's a preservation from stumbling and a help from falling for his elect. 17 verse, he raised up the soul and lightened the eyes. He giveth health, life, and blessings. He that sacrificeth a thing roughly gotten, his offering is ridiculous, and the gifts of unjust men are not accepted, right? All right, so it's all about the just, like Cornelius, like Lot, again, Genesis, the 19th chapter, speaking about Lot, man, that was preserved, but his wife wasn't preserved because she wasn't right, because she wasn't submitting to it. Ultimately, she wasn't with Lot like that. All right, she should have been down with Lot, man. That's why she got turned to a pillar of salt. So that's a warning to you women out there, man. You know that ain't right. You know. So Sirach 51 and verse 1, it says, I would thank the Most High, O Lord, King, and praise thee, O God of my salvation. I do give praise unto thy name, for thou art my defender and my helper, and has preserved my body from destruction and from the snare of the slanderous tongue, because there's a lot of slanderous tongues in this world. Okay. And from the lips that forge lies, and has been my helper against my adversaries, had delivered me according to the multitude of thy mercies and thy greatness of thy name. For my name's sake, he said, what? For my name's sake, I was saved, because our name is attached to his. So the Lord's going to clean up his name from the teeth of them that were ready to devour me, and out of the hands of such as sought after my life, and from the manifold afflictions which I had. Yep. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord will deliver them out of them all. You know, because we got many afflictions, bro. Brothers are catching all kind of hell, man. You know, like brothers had sent me that clip from I think it was an elder. I'm Wonka Bar. I think he was going into that, earlier, which is a good lesson. You know, see, because we're all one body, we all speak the same thing. So he's going to how brothers are going through things. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord has a helper, of all the afflictions, man. You know, because He's gonna preserve our body from destruction. Even to this day, He's preserving us. Every day He's preserving us from shit, that we don't even know about. He's keeping away wicked, evil women, witches, warlocks. He's keeping away spells from us. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's preserving us, man. He giving us the word, man. He giving us the fire, man. See, but He's also preserving us from that fire too. Sirach 51 and verse 4. It says, from the choking of fire on every side, from the midst of the fire which I kindle not, from the depth of the belly of hell, from an unclean tongue, from lying words. See, from the depths of the belly of hell, man. Hey, we in hell, bro. We in hell, man. And the Lord's preserving us from the depth of the belly of hell, from an unclean tongue, from a slanderous tongue, as it says in the second verse. From lying words, by accusation to the king, from my unrighteous tongue, my soul drew even near unto death. My life was near to the hell beneath. They compassed me on every side, and there was no man to help me. I looked for the succor of men, but there was none. Yeah, because nobody gives a shit about you. I looked for the help of men, the succor of men. That's what that means, succor. I looked for the succor of men, but there was no help. Succor means help, man. You ain't gonna get no help from men. The Lord's going to be the one to help you in that time, man. You see what I'm saying? The Lord's gonna be the one to preserve you. Yeah, He might set up different people to help you in that time, but no man can save you. The scripture says no man knows the hour nor the day. So that's why it says, cursed be the man that put his trust in man and make it flesh his arm. See? Because the Lord's a jealous power. My glory I will not give unto another. All right. So it says, I looked for the succor of men, but there was none. Sirach 51:8. Then I thought upon thy mercy, O Lord, and upon the acts of old, how thou deliverest such as wait for thee, and savest them out of the hands of the enemies. Then I lifted up my supplication from the earth and prayed for deliverance from death. And I called upon the Lord, the Father of my Lord, that he would not leave me in the day of my trouble, in the time of the proud when there was no help. See, we're in the time of the proud right now, man. The proud boys, man. All right. We're in the time of the proud boys, man. We're in the time of the love of many waxing cold. So we gotta be preserved from that too. See what I'm saying? I'll praise thy name continually and send praise with thanksgiving. And so my prayer was heard. 12 verse. For thou hast saved me from destruction and deliverest me from the evil time. Therefore will I give thee thanks and praise thee and bless thy name, O Lord. All right. Second Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 24. And the prayer was after this manner. O Lord, creator of all things, O power, who are fearful and strong and righteous and merciful, the only and merciful and gracious King, the only giver of all things, the only just and almighty everlasting. That's what the Lord said when we come and see him. He said that there's no good but the Father. Why callest thou me good? Right? So the only giver of things, all things, the only just and almighty everlasting, thou deliverest Israel from all his troubles, and didst choose the fathers and did sanctify him. Receive the sacrifice for thy whole people Israel, and preserve thine own portion and sanctify it. See, that's what's being sanctified, the Lord's portion. He said, with great labor have I made it perfect, the grape of the cluster. So preserve thine own portion and sanctify it. Gather those that are scattered from us. See, because here it is, you got brothers all over the world. You got brothers all over the world in all parts of the world. In the European Union, in South America, Central America, and America scattered throughout the 50 states, you know. So gather those that are scattered from us, James 1 and 1, you know, to 12 tribes scattered abroad greeting. Deliver them that serve amongst the heathen. And see, we're serving amongst the heathen. Look upon them that are despised and abhorred, and let the heathen know that thou art our power. Punish them that oppress us, and with pride do us wrong. See, punish them that oppress us, and with pride do us wrong. So our own people are gonna be punished because they've been doing wrong to us too. They misused the Lord's prophets. Second Chronicles, the 36th chapter. You know, scriptures say that they've misused the prophets. You know, they haven't given you your credit, your just due. You know, but a nigga in the world, they'll give him his just due, just like Barabbas. You see, just like Barabbas. You know, hey, Barabbas comes along, Barabbas gets a pass, man. Barabbas gets love and attention and shit. And because this is, if the world, you are of the world will love its own. Second Chronicles 36 and verse the 15, and the God of our fathers sent them by his messengers rising up betimes, sending because he had compassion on his people. He sent his men because he had compassion on his people, because he actually cares, and on his dwelling place. But they mocked the message of the Most High, despised his words, and misused his prophets until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people until there was no remedy. Hebrews 11, it says that the world was not worthy of the Lord's men. Okay, it says 36 verse, Hebrews 11:36. And others had trials of cruel mockings and scourgings. Yeah, moreover, bonds and imprisonment. They were stoned and they were sewn asunder and were tempted and were slain with the sword and wandered about in sheepskin, goatskin. That's how John the Baptist and them lived, sheepskin, goatskins. Being destitute, afflicted, and tormented. Even today, you got brothers out there, sackcloth, brothers out there poor, you got brothers out there living out their cars and shit, brothers out there homeless, out there doing his work, man. See, because that's how the Lord's called his men. He didn't call rich dudes because the rich dudes ain't gonna do this work. Just like that guy that came up to the Lord, man. He said, I've done everything, I given tithes and all this. But the Lord told him, that you wasn't perfect because you're supposed to give everything to the poor and follow me. And he walked away very sorrowful, for he had great possessions, you know. So that's the thing. So the Lord's men are not men with great possessions on this side, because scripture say that if a man if a man would serve the Lord, he would not entangle himself with the affairs of this life. No man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him that have called him be a soldier. Yeah, that's right. Always love a nigga. That's how people are, you know. So Hebrews 11, verse 38, it says, of whom the world was not worthy. See, the world is not worthy. Are you men out there, you true men, because you're not of this world. These people are of the world, but you're not, you know. So of whom the world was not worthy, they wandered in desert and mountains and dens and caves of the earth. All right. So that's how the men of the Lord will be. You know, there will be men that's not of this world. They're not of the society like that, you know. They're not down with this world, man. You know, so punish them that oppress us, Second Maccabees 1, verse 28. And with pride do us wrong. Plant thy people again thy holy place as Moses has spoken. Yep. Plant thy people again in thy holy place. In our land. See, we've been uprooted up out of our land, pursuing the Ezekiel 36 chapter. You know, we've been uprooted up out of our land. In the ancient high places, they sit in the possession and they say, aha, aha. You know, the ancient high places are as a possession. That means that you've been uprooted about your land. And you know, you got heathens around over there. That's why you got these people talking about Palestine and Israel. You got like that Hamite came up there, that dirty Somali said, Yalla, fuck Israel, this and that, that. He's talking about them small headers, you know, because that's what he thought we were. Small headers, man. You know. But see, that's confusion, because confusion is in every place. The people are confused. They don't know who's the real people. They don't understand who's the real people. They've been sold a lie, bill of goods. You know, they've been sold a bad bill of goods. All right. But anyways, um, the second Maccabees 1 in verse 29. Plant thy people again in thy holy place, as Moses has spoken. And the priests sang songs of thanksgiving. And when his sacrifice was consumed, Nehemiah commanded the water was left to be poured on the green stones. And when this was done, there was kindled a flame, and it was consumed by the light that shined from the altar. And when his matter was known, it was told the king of Persia that in the place where the priests that were laid away had hid the fire, there appeared water, and Nehemiah had purified the sacrifice therewith. All right. So Isaiah chapter 49, verse 6. All right, because Nehemiah and all these men that we read about here were making intercession um, to the Lord, for the people. See, and look at what they was praying. Plant that people, man. Again, the holy place as Moses has spoken. They were speaking to the Lord. See, that's why the scripture say, "Pray without ceasing." You gotta pray for one another, man. You know, so you gotta pray for one another, man. And you gotta ask the Lord, for your people, man. Make intercession for His saints. You gotta you as the ministers of the Lord. That's why the like Jeremiah, he was called a weeping prophet. Why was he weeping? He was weeping for the people. That's what he was doing. Jeremiah was a weeping prophet. Why was he weeping? For the people, and he was weeping to the Lord. That's why you have books like the prayer Azariah. That's like 80 verses, man, of prayers, like Psalms, and things of that nature. Okay, so anyways, it says Isaiah 49 verse 6. And he said, "Is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to preserve, to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light of the Gentiles to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the ends of the earth." The Lord's men, all right, starting with Yahushua, are the salvation on the ends of the earth, because they're the ones preaching the glad tidings. See, glad tidings. How beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. So that's in Romans the 10th chapter, 15 verse on down. Okay, so 7 verse. Isaiah 49:7. Thus said the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel, and His Holy One, to whom man despises. See, that's who man despises. The Son of Man and His men too. Okay, he said, if you have hated me, if they have hated me, they have hated you also. They will hate you also. For the servant is not greater than the master. To him whom the nation abhorreth, to a servant of rulers, kings shall see and arise, and princes also shall worship, because of the Lord that is faithful, and the Holy One of Israel, He shall choose thee. See, He's the one that does the choosing, the Holy One of Israel, man. Okay, not the world. The world and the people in it have no say so about who the Lord chooses. That's why the nations are angry and mad, because in their heads they think they're the ones that do the choosing, or they're the ones that's in control. The white man, he thinks he's in control. And our people, they think they're in control of their own lives. Oh, I live my best life in this shit. See, they understand that the Lord is in control, man. 8 verse. Thus saith the Lord power, in an acceptable time I have heard thee, and a day of salvation I have helped thee, and I'll preserve thee, and I will give thee for a covenant of the people to establish the earth, to cause inheritance the desolate to cause thee to inherit the desolate heritages. Okay, so what did the Lord saying? He said that He told Isaiah that I will make the covenant of the people. Well, look, the Lord's men, He made a contract with them. That's why you can't leave the truth, because see, the Lord's true men are entered into a pact with the Lord on behalf of His people, that they would minister the word to the Lord's sheep. That's why He said, 1 Peter 5, take oversight over the flock. You see, so you can't leave this thing. If you're a true minister of the power, the scriptures say that the hireling fleeth when he see the wolf coming, because he's not of the flock. He's not a professional. Leave the teaching to the professionals, like the apostle had said back in the day. Leave the teaching to the professionals, man. See, a lot of you men are not professionals, man. You're just fakers. Okay, you're not you're not the real McCoy, man. All right, just like the heathen and these other priests and like the Pope and all these niggas, they're not the true representatives of the Most High on the earth. See, who's the true representatives? Those that have been chosen from the foundation were like Jeremiah, like Isaiah, right here, 49 and verse 2. It says, He had made my mouth like a sharp. Oh, first verse. Listen, O isles, you people, and hearken. The Lord had called me from the womb, and from the bowels of my mother he had made mention of my name. What that mean? That means that before Isaiah was created on the earth and put on the earth, the Lord already chose him to be a minister of the power, because that's how it works. See, 7 verse, Isaiah 49:7. The Holy One of Israel, he shall choose thee. See, he shall choose thee. 8 verse, thus saith the Lord, in an acceptable time I've heard thee, in the day of salvation I have helped thee. He only hear the prayer of his saints. Okay, those that he has called from the womb. That's what he's hearing. He's not hearing nobody talking about Jesus Christ. He's not hearing nobody with double tongue, with a false heart. Okay, he's hearing those that he preserved from the beginning, pursuing Ephesians 1:12. Those that first trust in Yahweh, the first fruits of the spirit. I'll preserve thee and give thee for a covenant of the people to establish the earth and to cause thee to inherit the desolate waste heritage. See, what are we going to inherit? We're going to inherit the land of Israel. That's a desolate heritage right there, because it's going to be nuked. Because it says in let's get that 2 Numbers 35th chapter. It says that the land cannot be cleansed, but by the blood of him that sheddeth therein. Numbers 35 and verse 33. So shall ye not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood defile the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, for wherein I dwell. For I, the Lord, dwell amongst the children of Israel in our land. That's what the Lord's land, man. Which start with the people, but also the Holy Land, man. You defile the Holy Land, so the Holy Land is going to be a desolate heritage, which we're going to eventually inherit, man. Because that's how cold the Lord is. He's going to give us back the covenant, you know, the new covenant where He's going to write in our inward parts, pursuant to Hebrews the 8th chapter, you know. So, anyways, it says 9th verse, that thou mayest say to the prisoners. That's what you're saying to the prisoners. You're speaking. That's why you gotta be instant in season, out of season, because that's what you're doing. You're speaking to the prisoners. So go forth to them that are in darkness and show yourselves. They shall feed in the way, and their pastors shall be in high places. Yeah, because our people gonna be kings and priests on the earth. God-like people, man, on the earth. You should be gods. You should die like men. John 10 and verse 33 on down. You know, because he say you're God, you should die like men. All right. They shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the heat nor the sun smite them. For he that have mercy on them shall lead them, even by the spring of water shall he guide them. Yeah, because in this world, all you do is catch hell. The heat and the sun smite you all day long. You out there working in the field and shit. Your life ain't a balance, but that's a servitude position, a slave position. Let's get the word book of Ecclesiastes, the 10th chapter. So I've seen princes. That's the sun hitting your ass every day, over there working every day. That's a slave position. Ecclesiastes 10 and 4, if the spirit of the ruler rises up against thee, leave not thy place, for yield and pacify great offenses. Yeah, we got to yield to the servant, man, to the ruler, which it really he's a servant, but right now he's a ruler because of the great evil that you've done as a people, disrespecting your dad, the Most High, disrespecting his son, you know. 10 and 5 says, there's an evil which I've seen under the sun, an error which proceeds from the ruler. See, it says in Sirach, the 10th chapter, the first verse says, a wise judge instructs people, and the government of the prudent man is well ordered. So the error proceeds from the white man. That's where the error is proceeding from, that devil. That he's the man of sin, which has been revealed to be the man of sin. But from the womb, he's a liar. Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked is estranged from the womb. He go astray as soon as he be born, speaking lies. See, the error which proceeded from the ruler. 6th verse. Folly sin great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. You're the rich, but you're sitting in a low place. 7th verse. I have seen service upon horses, and princes walking as service upon the earth. He that dig a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh a hedge, a serpent shall bite him. See, who will pity a charmer that's bitten by the serpent? That's why you don't come now, wild beasts, man. All right. So the Lord said, Psalm 7:15, he gonna fall into the pit in which he digged. So that pit, he that dig a pit shall fall into it. America's the big pit, which the white man go down in this place right here, America. Okay, because that's the pit which he digged for us, which we was the original inhabitants of this land, but here it is, this devil came and took the land and digged a pit for his own demise when he touched the apple of the Lord's eye. So it says, Nehemiah chapter 1 and verse 1. Now, in the 20th and 4th day of the month, the children of Israel will assemble with fasting and with fat sackcloth and upon the earth, and earth upon them, so like it. And the seed of Israel separated themselves from all strangers, and stood and confessed their sins and iniquities of their fathers. See, scripture say, if we say we have no sin, we had denied the Lord and we make him a liar when the truth is not in us. See, Israel, the seed of Israel, all right, Jezreel, the seed of the upright, the princes of power, they confessed themselves, they separated themselves from the strangers and stood and confessed their sins and iniquities of the fathers. Like Tobit told his son, he said, chiefly take the wife of their own, right? Because you're supposed to separate from your enemies. Scripture say, beware, Sirach 12 and 10. Scripture say, never trust thine enemy, for his iron rests on his wickedness. So when you in bed with the devil and when you're in bed with the other nations, you start to trust them. Okay, you start making covenants with them. You think they're not all that bad. They're cool. The scripture say, "Envy not thou oppressor, and choose not his ways." Man, envy not the glory of a sinner. Sirach 9 and 17. Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. All right. So third verse. Then they stood up in their place and read the book of the law of the Lord their power, 1/4 part of the day, and another fourth part they confessed and worshiped the Lord their power. 1/4 part of the day. That means for hours. What's 1/4 part of the day? That's talking about 6 hours. Okay, so they spend half the day, 12 hours over there worshiping the Lord. See, in today's world, you can't even give 5 minutes to the Lord. You do a little lesson for 2 minutes. Yeah, it's cool. You got balance sometimes. You got to throw up a little short lesson sometimes. But here it is. In this world, our people, they can't, you come into this faith of ours and they can't even give the Lord, they can't even give the Lord an hour a week, man. They can't go out there and teach the word, speak the word, even an hour, man. That's too much for them. That's too much for you. You see? Fourth verse. Then stood up upon the stairs of the Levites, Jeshua, Benai, Comediel, Shabani, Benai, Shebiah, Benai, Chennai, and cried with a loud voice unto the Lord their power. Then the Levites, Jeshua, Comediel, Benai, Habaniah, Shebariah, Hadijah, Shebaniah, and Bethiah said, stand up and bless the Lord your power forever and ever. Bless thy in the glorious name, which is exalted above and praised. Thou, even thou art Lord alone. Thou hast made the heavens of the heavens with their host, the earth and all things that's therein, the sea and all that's therein. Thou preservest them all, the host of heavens shall worship thee. Thou art the Lord, the power, whom didst choose Abraham, the father. Abraham means father of multitude, but Abraham represents the father of the promise, the father of faith. When it says in Galatians, the 3rd chapter, it says that the Lord was Abraham, that Ishmael and them wasn't the son of the bondwoman should not be heir with the son of the free, because see, we go the lineage with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's a faithful lineage right there. The other nations are not faithful, so they're not really Abraham's children like that. We're Abraham's children. That's why it says in Matthew the 3rd chapter in the 8th verse that the Lord told his disciples, and he told Jake, man, he said, rejoice not because you're Abraham's children, because he can raise up stones, right? At the end of the day, you rejoice that your names are written in heaven, right? Because at the end of the day, Abraham was a faithful man, so you got to be like Abraham. But here it is, we're called the children of faith, children of the light, right? Not children of the day, because we're in line with the knowledge and wisdom understanding, which increases our faith from day to day, right? So that's what makes it different from the other nations. You see, because Ishmael came up out of there, right? Esau came up out of there. He came up out of Abraham, but they're not the faithful, they're not the faithful. Now, Nehemiah 9 and 8, and foundest his heart faithful before thee, and madest a covenant with him to give him the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Jebusites, and the Gershites, to give it, I say, to his seed, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and has performed thy words, for thou art righteous, and didst see the affliction of our fathers in Egypt, and heardest their cry by the Red Sea, and showed the signs and wonders upon Pharaoh and all his servants, on all the people of his land. For thou knewest that they dwelt against them proudly. They dealt against them proudly. These nations have always been dealing against us proudly, man. So thou didst get thee a name as it is this day, and thou didst divide the sea before them. So that same name that they was calling the Lord back then, that same name we supposed to call him to this day. See, thou didst get thee a name as it is this day. Same name supposed to be calling to this day. The Lord said, Malachi 3 and 6, I change not, therefore ye sons of Jacob not consumed. All right. So nobody was talking about Jesus back then. That's why that chick, Sonya Massey, got killed the way she did, deleted the way she did, because she was disrespecting the name of the Lord, man. Every time you talk about Jesus Christ, that's ignorance. And the Lord said he'll wink at your ignorance, but the time has come where now you know the truth. The truth is out there and you still refuse to turn back. So the Lord will judge you according to the scriptures, man, according to what proceed out of your mouth, man. You know, here it is. That's what's defiling you. You over there in the black church, still in the Jehovah wickedness, you're still in darkness and lies and deceit. Where the scriptures say, make not lies your refuge, man. You know? So it says 12 verse, moreover, thou didst lead them in the day by a cloudy pillar, Nehemiah 9 and 12, and in the night by a pillar of fire to give them light in the way wherein they should go. All right. You can't go nowhere without light, understanding, all right, without seeing. All right. Thou camest down also upon Mount Sinai and spakest with them from heaven and gave them right judgment and true laws and good statutes and commandments. How did he speak to them in Mount Sinai? Through the burning bush, through Moses. He came down from Mount Sinai with the tablets that were lasered in there. You know, they had the laws lasered up in there. He came down there and the people were doing wickedness, just like today. You know, the Lord has given us back this word, and here it is. These niggas are over there burning incense to the Queen of Heaven and shit, being niggas, you know, with golden caps everywhere you look. Same thing. There's nothing new under the sun, man. Same shit. You know, these niggas are doing the same things, even worse. You know, even worse. 14 verse. And had made known unto them thy holy Sabbath, and commandest them precepts, statutes, and laws by the hand of Moses thy servant. That's why they call it the law of Moses, which at the end of the day is not his law, it's the Lord's law. It was just given by the hand of Moses. Now gavest them bread from heaven for their hunger, and broughtest them water for them out of the rock for their thirst, and promised them that they should go into the land which thou hast sworn to give them. And thou, and they and our fathers dealt proudly and hard their necks, and hearkened not to thy commandments, and refused to obey thee. Neither were they mindful of thy wonders that thou didst amongst them, but hardened their necks, and in their rebellion appointed a captain to return to their bondage. But thou art a God ready to pardon. See, but our people not ready to receive that pardon, because he said, "My hand stretched out still, and you niggas are still slapping it away. You still get out of here, man. I don't need you, Lord. You know, that's the attitude, man. Gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and forsook them not. Yeah, and when they made them a molten calf and said, This is thy God that brought thee out of Egypt and has wrought great provocations, yet thou in thy manifold mercies forsook them not in the wilderness. The pillar of the cloud departed not from them by day to lead them in the way, neither the pillar of fire by night to show them light in the way whither they should go. That's how we got up out of Egypt. That's how we got through the wilderness. That's how we got. The Lord always had his thousands. Pursuant to Psalm 68, he said he sit upon in the midst of his ships, 20,000, even thousands of angels. All right. That's where the Lord sits. You know what I'm saying? That's how he maneuvers his angels. He maneuvers through his chariots, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why scripture say him that rideth upon the heavens in thy help. All right. In thy preservation. You know. Okay, so thou gavest also thy good spirit to instruct them, Nehemiah 9:20, and withheld not thy manna from their mouth, the hidden manna. All right, manna, the literal manna we had that we actually they actually rained down from heaven. We actually ate it, you know. But now we have the hidden manna. You know. It says, and gave them this water for their thirst, yet 40 years didst thou sustain them in the wilderness, so that they lacked nothing, their clothes waxed not old, and their feet swelled not. All right, because your feet swell up through so much walking, so much work that you put in, you know. But the Lord said he gave us rest, man. He gave us an oasis in the desert, you know, even though he did give us 40 years of wandering and stuff like that, because Jake was still wicked, man. You know. Anyway, it says, moreover, thou didst give them kingdoms and nations, and didst divide them into corners, so they possessed the land of Shihan and the land of Heshbon and the land of Og, the king of Bashan. Their children also multiplied thou as the stars of heaven, and broughtest them into the land whither concerning which thou hast promised to their fathers that they should go in to possess it. So the children went in to possess the land, and thou subduedest before them the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, and gavest them into their hands with their kings and the people of the land, that they might do with them as they would. All right. And they took strong cities and fat land, possessed houses full of goods, wells digged, vineyards, and olive yards, and fruits and trees in abundance, so that they eat and were filled and became fat and delighted themselves in thy great goodness. Nevertheless, they were disobedient and rebelled against thee, and cast thy law behind their backs, and slew thy prophets, which testified against them to turn them to thee, and they wrought great provocations. You provoked the Lord to anger. Therefore, thou deliverest them into the hands of their enemies who vexed them, and in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven. According to thy manifold mercies, thou gavest them saviors. Obadiah 1:21, who saved them out of the hand of their enemies. All right. The prophets of the Lord, the man of the Lord, the man and his truth. That's what is being raised up to this day. The saviors shall mount up, come Mount Zion, the judgment of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. All right, 28 verse. But after they had rest, they did evil again before thee. That's how niggas are. They fall again every time. That's a cycle of wickedness. You know, that's how Jake is. Therefore, leftest thou them in the hand of their enemies, so that they had their dominion over them. Yet when they returned and cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven, and many times didst thou deliver them according to thy mercies. Many times thou didst deliver them according to thy mercies, and testified against them that thou mightest bring them again unto thy law. Yet they do it proudly, and hearken not unto thy commandments, but sin against thy judgments, which if a man shall do, he shall live in them. Whether withdrew the shoulder and hardened their neck and would not hear thee. Yet many years didst thou forbear them and testified against them by the Spirit in thy prophets. Yet would they not give ear, therefore gavest thou them the hand of the people of the lands. Nevertheless, for thy great mercy's sake, thou didst not utterly consume them, nor forsake them, for thou art gracious and merciful power. Because scriptures say, is the Lord's mercy will not consume. 32nd verse. Now, therefore, our God, the great, the mighty, the terrible God, who keeps covenant and mercy, let not all the trouble seem little before thee that has come upon us, and on our kings and our princes and our priests and our prophets and our fathers, and on all thy people since the day of the kings of Assyria unto this day. Howbeit thou art just howbeit thou art just in all that is brought upon us, for thou hast done it right, but we have done wickedly. Neither have our kings, our princes, our priests, nor our fathers kept thy law, nor hearken unto thy commandments and thy testimonies wherewith thou didst testify against them. For they have not served thee in their kingdom and in thy great goodness that thou gavest them, and in a large and fat land which thou gavest before them, neither turned they from their wicked works. Behold, we are servants this day, and for the land that thou gavest unto our fathers to eat the fruit thereof and the good thereof, behold, we are servants in it. And it yielded much increase unto the kings whom thou set before us because of our sins. The only reason these kings are yielding great increases because of our sins, right? Which sins transgress of the law, which only we can really do. These other nations are prospering because we fucked up. That's it. Also, they have dominion over our bodies and over our cattle. At their pleasure, we are in great distress. And because of all this, we make a sure covenant and write it in our princes and Levites, and we seal onto it. What does the word distress mean? Okay, real quick. Circumstance that cause anxiety or hardship, restraint, affliction, narrowness, okay, anguish, grief, suffering, hell, man. Nigga talking about you not in hell. You're in constraint, you're compelled by pain, you're being harassed. Scripture say they hunt our steps everywhere you go. Restraint, affliction, narrowness, distress. You draw apart, you're hindered. All right, you're coerced, you're afflicted with mental or physical pain, be made miserable. All right, you're damaged as a piece of furniture made to appear old. That's what distress means. A distressed person, man. You're a jig is distressed, totally distressed. All right. Psalms chapter 31, verse 17. Let me not be ashamed, O Lord, if I have called upon thee. Let the wicked be ashamed. Let them be silent in their graves. Let the lying lips be put to silence, which speak grievous things proudly and contemptuously against the righteous. How great is thy goodness, O Most High, which thou hast laid up for them that fear thee, which thou hast wrought for them that trust thee before the sons of men. Thou shalt hide them in the secret of thy presence from the pride of man. Thou shalt keep them secretly in a pavilion from the strife of tongues. Whew. Blessed be the Lord, for he hath showed me his marvelous kindness in a strong city. For I said in my haste, I am cut off from before thy eyes. Nevertheless, thou hast heard the voice of my supplication when I cried unto thee. O love the Lord, all ye his saints, for the Lord preserve the faithful and plentifully reward the proud doer. The Lord's going to plentifully reward the proud doer, man. Be of good courage, he shall strengthen your heart, all ye that hope in the Most High. How about Psalms 32 and verse 5, it says, I acknowledge my sin unto thee, and my iniquity have I not hid before thee, O Most High. I said, I will confess my transgression unto the Lord, and thou forgivest the iniquity of my sin. Selah. For this shall every man that is godly pray unto thee in the time when thou mayest be found. Surely in the floods of a great water they shall not come nigh unto him. For thou art my hiding place, thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with the songs of deliverance. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go, and I will guide thee with my eye. Be not as the horse or as the mule, which have no understanding. A horse is a headstrong creature that must be broken in. All right, scripture says, a child left to himself become willful. A horse is like a child, man, just wild and untamed. Whose mouth must be held in a bit and bridle, least they come near unto thee. Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusts in the Most High, how by Shemel mercy shall compass him about. Be glad in the Lord and rejoice, ye righteous, and shout for joy, all ye that are upright in heart. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 23, man. It says, and the power, the very God of peace, shall sanctify you wholly. I pray you, the Most High, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, man. All right, so with that, a call I'm like how Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Chicago, that's look when edifying unto you of the elect, man, and peace salutations to you, man. Shalom, shalom.